Great. We have begun. Welcome to the MIPR group. My name is Jeff Milo. I'm the marketing coordinator here at the Ferndale Area District Library, filling in for Kelly. And thanks to Dan from Southfield for helping out. And thank you all for being here. Happy basically almost summer. It's almost Memorial Day. And that means it's a busy, busy time for us. Can we start with like kind of a round robin? I'd love to kind of hear from people. If you want to just say hello and introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about yourself and how long you've been in the position you're in at your library and what's currently on your plate. And I know the answer is summer reading, but tell me details. What's going on? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
The race. Go ahead.
So my name is
sorry, this is already chaos. I'm already
okay.
You go ahead, Adrienne.
Okay, my name's Adrienne Shinkai and I'm with the Comstock Township Library. While I have been working for the library since December, I recently took on the marketing associate position with the library in the last month and a half. So the good news is for me, things, I haven't been scrambling so much for summer reading program because the person that I'm taking over for already had a good chunk of everything prepared. So I'm kind of tying up loose ends while we're approaching the deadline for that. Mainly, I am just at this point getting my feet wet, learning a few new programs, but it's been going very well.
Good.
So I heard this was an excellent place to, meet other people in my position, get some ideas, and go from there.
Great. Do you have any questions or quandaries or things you're banging your head against the wall about right now at this very moment, or you just want to listen?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Okay.
The one big thing that I'm kind of looking for today, if I could pick somebody's brain, one of the things I want to do is once I am more seasoned in this position is reach out to more entities in the local Comstock area. Now, people in my position in the past have done this, but the big problem is these other entities have posted and published wrong information, whether it's about our hours, stuff that the library provides, to wrong dates and times for programs. I guess during COVID, my library had discontinued what they call like a holiday open house. And some publications said, oh yeah, it's totally on this year. It's on this date. So we had people showing up last Christmas saying, where's all the holiday stuff? And they're like, we never planned that for this year. So I guess my big thing is, are there any recommendations, advice for going about contacting people to, strike up relationships, knowing that these relationships have failed us in the past?
Anybody here in the room have thoughts?
I think my thought is that you are a new person and you bring yourself to the role. And if the relationships were hard in the past, it's an opportunity for you to heal those relationships because you bring yourself to the table. And I think if you, maybe approach those groups with a positive attitude, and we had this experience, I think this is similar to what you're talking about with a local nonprofit that is reposting information or not reposting, but creating their own posts about things that are going on at the library that are not always accurate. And we reached out to that new person and just, told her that we would love to support her in posting about our stuff. If she ever needs graphics about a program, that we would love for them to mimic ours instead of taking her own look, and that we, she could just let us know anytime. And so far that seems like it's been successful, that they're coming to us first before posting about our things. So I don't know, there's always that possibility to start fresh, I guess.
And there's always going to be those kinds of miscommunications. Like 6 times out of the year, I feel like we have someone come to the library saying, oh, I heard this, I heard that. Or, oh, I thought we were booked for tonight. So that's part and parcel with the job.
Okay, so thanks so much for the encouragement.
You just have to be a pest and do lots of follow-ups and lots
Yeah.
of really tender, hey, let's talk about communication. Little real polite, cordial emails. But let's continue the round robin. Who wants to go next? I'll call on you if you don't talk.
I can go. Good morning, everybody. My name is Alyssa. I'm from the Brandon Township Public Library, where I am the Public Services Manager. So marketing is not really something I specialize in. I oversee programming from birth to infinity. So marketing just kind of falls in my purview, as well as the staff who work below me in their purview as well. So I pretty much just come here for ideas to see what everybody else is doing, since marketing is not something I specialize in.
We'll be happy to give you ideas.
I can go next.
Hey, Madison, what's up?
Hi, I'm Madison. I am the Teen Services Librarian at the Grace A. Dow Memorial Library in Midland. The way that I kind of fit into marketing is last summer, I wanted a TikTok for the teens that come to the library, or maybe as a way to like gain more teen interest in the library. And our marketing person didn't want to commit to posting to another form of social media. So I ended up taking that on. I was posting like 5 times a week for the first 6 months, but I've cut back. Now I'm only doing 2 to 3 times a week now. It's a big commitment and it's not the main part of my job. But I'm kind of same with Alyssa. Marketing doesn't exactly fit into my technical job description. So anytime I can get insight from people who are more specialized than me, I'm happy to hear it.
Shall I go next?
Yeah, Natasha, go.
Hi, my name is Natasha Rogers. I'm from Sterling Heights Public Library. I am sort of new to the role of PR. So PR and programming coordinator. So I pretty much do all the marketing and social media posts, and I schedule programs and any sort of relationship we have with outside people, pretty much I do. And so far right now, we have everything pretty much planned for summer. We are working on our summer reading prizes, I really want to beef our prizes up this year, because I kind of felt like sometimes in the past we were kind of giving away some things that were,
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm also scheduling for fall right now, because we do have a city magazine that requires us to get everything in, several months in advance. So I'm doing that. And just trying to really get, our social media wasn't used super much before I got into this position. So I'm really trying to beef that up as well. Creating events for everything that we have, and trying to cross post, especially in like resident groups, to get people to come in. And it seems to be working pretty well. I'm not saying that we're getting like hundreds of people, but there are people who are noticing and starting to interact with us more. And I feel like they are showing up for things. And one thing I'm hoping to try to do in fall is maybe start like a D&D group. And I was wondering if anybody in here has done that. We did get an email from a group that you can pay someone to be the dungeon master, and they can do it over Zoom. So you can have people come in and it's pretty much led by this other person. But I was just wondering if anybody else has done this before, because I don't think anyone in our library has played D&D or is comfortable being a dungeon master.
We have a D&D group that is here at the library every other Saturday. And we were lucky to have a group that was coming to use our meeting room for that purpose, that then reached out to us to say that they would love to turn it into an open library program every other Saturday. And they're terrific. And it's
awesome.
going really well. So they're here every other Saturday. They're called the Wizards Tower is the name of the group, and they seem pretty large scale, and they're all about helping people start new groups and get going into the game. So I'm not sure
were they
what they're
called?
doing
The
on the other,
Wizard?
the Wizards Tower, they're called.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, I'm not sure if they're if they live local to Plymouth. I assume maybe the Dungeon Masters do because that they chose to be here at Plymouth, but
All
I
right, I'll
don't know
reach out
what
to
they
them.
do
and
on the
see-
Saturdays. They're not here, so maybe that's a possibility for them to be somewhere else. If
Yeah, or if
they're-
not, maybe they'll know someone down in our area that might
yeah,
be
yeah.
interested. Thank you.
So Natasha, we also recently, we don't have a group started yet, but we had some interest in Dungeons and Dragons. One of my coworkers, she's one of our adult services librarians, her husband plays Dungeons and Dragons. So he came in on a Saturday and was, generous enough to volunteer his time for the full afternoon, along with prepping the entire game. And
Wow.
he led a group. It was registration only. I think we had 6 or 7 kids come. And it was a hit. They loved it to the point where, like, at the end of it, they turned and asked him, "Are we doing this again next weekend?" And he was like, "Oh, something time commitment." But one of the kids, they were all mostly middle school. I think there was one high schooler. One of the middle schoolers, his dad came with him and helped him throughout the game through the entire time, and actually told us at the end that he plays Dungeons and Dragons in his free time. So we got his contact information, and we're looking at doing some, maybe not super regular, but maybe like quarterly, like one-shot games between him and the other librarian's spouse. I think that would be really, really good for our library too. So we're kind of in the same boat where we're trying to get something started.
So you gears more towards like kids and tweens.
Yeah, so we made this one. I'm pretty big on having teen only spaces. And when we decided we wanted to do it teens, I purposely did I did grades 6 through 12. I didn't want to include any adults in it. A lot of times our adult programming librarian, when she runs adult programs, she will open them to teens, but it ends up being like 1 or 2 teens. I mean, you guys have probably seen this too. It ends up being like 1 or 2 teens coming with their parents, and it doesn't give them an opportunity to like create relationships with each other. So when I do teen programs, I try to make them teen exclusive.
Gotcha. Okay.
You might want to reach out to your local comic book store if you have any kind of gaming stores, because they'll probably know people who do that, or if you're looking for somebody who's a little bit more of age as opposed to bringing an adult in, I'm sure they know the kids in the area because they'll all be coming in to buy their supplies. So you could start there.
That's a great idea. Thank you.
Like library, we've been doing Dungeons and Dragons for quite a few years now, and it's even led into 12 hours of gaming where we during our normal Saturday hours, they're upstairs in the community room and the Michigan room, and then after hours for the rest of the 12 hours, they're able to be throughout the library with games. We've even brought in Nerf Wars and a few other things. Ours all started with one local volunteer who wanted to do a beginning Dungeons and Dragons group. And then he was like, "Can we do this again?" And we turned it into a monthly program.
I wonder if there's a possibility for a teen who is got that kind of experience or interest to earn volunteer hour time to be a dungeon
Guess
master.
what? They still want to. I'm
Many
going
of our
to.
teams
I'm
do
gonna-
D&D, the master position.
Just plug it up. But I gotta
You
take
could
out
also
all this
try
here's all
local
the
theater groups,
filters, like
because they're
literally. I'm gonna put those up against the house. There's already plastic.
Hey, Stephanie, I think we're picking up a bunch of the people talking behind
inside the
you.
house because nothing goes there because it.
yeah. So local theater groups are another good place to start.
So I'll go next if no one else has any D&D.
Go for it.
My name is Stephanie. I am the Assistant Library Director at St. Clair Shores Public Library. I used to work with Natasha at Sterling Heights. I've been in this role for 4 months, but at Sterling Heights, I was there for 5 years. So I oversee some of the social media, even though someone else is creating the content. I'm reviewing it, going and providing some additional stuff. So I just like to see what everyone's up to, statewide. And if anyone wants to join us on any of our social media, we need 2 more people to get information from Instagram to be able to get our demographics. So we'd love anyone to join us there. We just got a $2,500 Dollar General grant for summer reading. So we're excited about that. And I'm applying for an LSTA grant upcoming. So staying busy with grants, staying busy with summer reading, learning my new position, and just getting to know all the employees here as well.
Excellent. Who wants to go next? Also, feel free, especially if there's something that's just really that you're having trouble with right now. You have questions you're just curious about. What's on your brain? What's on your mind? Who wants to say hello and tell me how your summer reading is going?
I can go next.
Great.
I'm trying to get my camera. Okay, well, my camera isn't working. So hello, I'm Tammy. I work at the Westland Public Library. I've been here about 7 years. Besides getting ready for summer reading, we are also doing a big renovation project and are at
good timing.
Yeah, we're at a temporary location, and we're going to be actually closing at the end of July to move everything back to our actual library building. So that's going to be more chaos. I run the kids' Facebook page, and we kind of all make our own flyers and things since we don't have a marketing person. So that would be nice, but not really in the budget to have a marketing person. So yeah, just here for ideas.
Cool.
I can go next.
Great.
I'm Sam Killian with the Ypsilanti District Library. I've been working here for going on 4 years now. I'm also with our communications intern as well, so we're kind of listening in to get some general feedback on things.
Hello, intern. What's your intern name?
Samantha.
Hi.
Hi.
We've got 2 Sams.
Two Sams. Perfect. Great.
So I would say, like, for me, my biggest ongoing challenge is just dealing with TikTok. We've started a TikTok page, but having trouble with getting everybody on board, contributing ideas, gaining followers, because trying to share on other social media pages doesn't usually seem to work. And, just always looking for ways to build that following and come up with creative video ideas. And I have to say, Jeff, we signed on, and Samantha saw your picture and she was like, "That's the guy who does the Ferndale TikToks."
That's me.
So yeah, and I guess just unrelated to introducing me, but a note on the Dungeon and Dragons stuff from our end. We did have a group that typically would meet like once a week or every other week. I'm not seeing any in our summer program calendar, so I'm not sure if they're just taking a break. But what we do have going on this summer is like one day where we're sort of pairing a D&D style event with a writing event that's happening previously in the day, where people are working to like create worlds and characters as part of a writing project. And then we're having a like event after that where people are kind of acting out and creating a game out of the worlds and characters that people.
Awesome. That's awesome.
So hello, everyone.
I love that idea, Sam. That's cool.
Yeah. Program that leads into a program.
You can't do better than that. So.
Yep.
Oh, and I guess I forgot to mention, I'm the community relations coordinator. So we do like newsletters, social media, just general kind of press releases, all that kind of stuff. So
Heck yeah. So do you do a print newsletter and an e-newsletter?
we do, yeah, we have a print newsletter that's kind of our main distribution, and then we have like weekly newsletters that go out, and we're trying to work on doing a little more segmentation for those, but I am unsure how to proceed so far with doing better segmentation. So
Does anyone else do e-newsletters, and do you do it weekly or monthly or less?
We do one every other week and a print newsletter as well, quarterly.
Nice.
Yeah, we also do a weekly e-newsletter and a quarterly print newsletter.
We do just a quarterly because everything that we basically say in the e-newsletter basically is posted on the website anyways. So unless we have like a big event coming up, like a month ago, we had an author visit. Kai Harris came to Comstock Township Library. We did, like a special e-newsletter to help drum up attendance and everything. Other than that, we just stick to quarterly.
Mhm.
We have a biweekly e-newsletter, and I'm pushing to do a targeted newsletter for teens and their parents. Because I want to get more volunteers, and like I said before, I want to get more teens into the library.
I'm doing monthly e-newsletters. You guys are inspiring me to do bi-weekly now and weekly. Maybe I'll just do that.
We just find that there's things that pop up too that, even though we have the quarterly print newsletter, there's things that, we realize need more attention, or there's issues like closures or, other non-programming issues that seems to help to have it every other week, because then it can be like closer to, the time of things. And we also have people, in addition to our regular twice a month e-news, we have newsletters that people can sign up to that are specific to adult or youth events or youth story time. And we also have a educators newsletter that our youth team puts together that is, I think, quarterly with, people can opt into that to get news about events and resources that are, information geared towards educators and media specialists, school media specialists.
Paige has a great question in the chat. Everyone's experience with email segmentation, if you do use it. Anyone have thoughts on that?
that's what I'm kind of struggling with now. We sort of
You're not struggling, you're just learning.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's sort of like when we first got our MailChimp account, it was set up in a certain way. And a lot of the interest fields and things that we had aren't necessarily ones that we're really focusing on anymore. So we kind of just did reworked our form a little bit so that it was more accurate to what we wanted to collect. But now it's sort of figuring out, how to push that and get more signups, and then how to combine it with like the fields that are already in there and the fields that, if we are segmenting it, we still have the weekly newsletter that goes out to everybody. And if there's somebody who's not in a field, do we still have to send the general weekly ones out to reach everybody? So still, that's kind of what I'm trying to get to, figuring out what we want to do and when we can do it, when we have enough new information to kind of work it all out.
So you're trying to figure out how to segment the old or the existing list, as well as segmenting the people who are coming in.
Right. Yeah. We kind of merge those, but then with the people who aren't categorized as something,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that seems sort of like you can separate out the people who are from the old list, and then do a campaign to those people on how you updated your preferences and how exciting this is, and we want to make sure that you get the information that's important to you, and then give them the different lists that they can join. And then you can just kind of see, you know, resend to non-openers. Otherwise, they're just probably, you know, if you don't reply, then you're just going to keep them on the everything, you know, and
That's
just
a good
do that
idea.
a couple of times. And then, you know, and then maybe at, you know, in your footer, you know, just something about, you know, update your preference, or we have new preferences, update your preference on all of the general emails that you send out. Just an idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you.
Sam uses MailChimp. Do we have any other new Savannah converts in here? Anybody?
Plymouth is in the process. It's taking a long time to get going with Savannah. We were supposed to start in March and we're still not up and running. So we'll get there. It's
Yeah.
just around the corner.
Because Paige, eventually you can send out e-newsletters through Savannah to. Savannah uses the terminology of customers, which we don't usually do. And you can send it out to a cluster of your customers based on what their checkout behavior is. So if they are checking out movies all the time, you can send your movie-centric program, your film screening or your film club to those people specifically. And I have had good results with that. Like the movie people got the movie program and they showed up for the movie program. So they made it easy. It does take a long time to set up though. Anyone else want to chime in and say hello and just tell me what's going on at your library lately or what's on your plate? Because we all wear a lot of hats and we all have a lot of plates.
I can jump in.
Yeah.
So I'm Heather. I'm from Plymouth. My role here is community relations specialist. So that sort of has a lot of mini hats that I wear with meeting rooms, and I lay out the quarterly newsletter and the e-newsletters. I'm a member of the social media team, but sort of peripheral member that's handled more by representatives from our adult, teen, and youth teams, and all those connections to anybody who walks in the door from the community.
Mm-hmm.
So we are celebrating our centennial this year.
Congrats.
So we just, big year. So we just had a big gala a couple weekends ago, and I'm relieved to be past that. Went well. So that's what's up at Plymouth.
And everything's all right, going all right. There's no fires to put out. You're not. Everything's rolling.
Well, there's
along.
always fires to put out.
Right.
Yeah. That's one of the hats, the fireman hat, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I think we're in good shape for summer reading though. It's coming so fast. This month is going so fast.
You know.
Yeah.
We're
We're taking a different approach this year with our summer reading. We decided to try to go a little eco-friendly and not buy so much plastic stuff to give away. And we have appealed to the community businesses to provide coupons and offers and whatnot for summer reading prizes. So we're doing an all ages program this year. Everybody's getting coupons every week, anytime people come to check in. So that's a little bit different for us too. Usually our adult program just gets a reward at the end. So we'll see how it goes. I remember my kids were a little bit like, it's paper here, mom, you know, so it'll be a trial year on that idea.
Anyone else started your messaging for summer reading yet? Have you started your posts yet? Have you scheduled anything? Have you laid it all out? Has anyone started already? Good Lord, we don't start till mid-June, but do you have your press release ready to go? Do you have your captions, everything, your verbiage, is everything set? And anyone out there panicking? Tell me more about summer reading.
We're set for summer reading. All the programs are already completed and finalized. We have the city newsletter going out here in the next maybe next week or so. And that would have a lot of our information as well. So I think the main thing is just getting some of the graphics done and just put up on our website. But otherwise, yeah, everything's set, handouts and bingo sheets and all of that.
Okay.
Yeah, we started a countdown the week before June, just, okay, here it comes. And so we tend to use Facebook and Instagram. So on both of those 7 days before, there's going to be always a post like, okay, 7 days until summer reading, 6 days, et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, we're ready to go. The main thing we're still working on is just some of the marketing pieces for later in the summer for some of the programs that we're having, but
Sure.
that's like short term, like posters and stuff just to put up in the library.
Sure. Stephanie Black, what's up?
Hey, I thought I would introduce myself for anybody new, because I think that's what we were doing, right?
Yeah, slowly but surely.
Okay, well, I'm Stephanie Black. I'm with the Grand Ledge Area District Library. Hi. So we started doing our summer reading program, promotion and everything. I don't know if you'll be able to see this.
Cool.
Of
Did you
course
make
it's
that
gonna
yourself?
blur it out. It's gonna blur it. Of course it is. Yes and no. So for my social media graphics, I go on freepik.com and I get a lot of the stock images, but I try to like manipulate them and do them a little bit differently, so I'm not directly copy pasting what they have. So for this particular thing, see if I can hold it up. There we go. We had this like, these people around the world. Hey, there we go.
Yeah, almost.
And the weird thing about this earth was it was all backwards and like the shapes were really weird, which is something commonly I've been finding with a lot of like earth and like all together artwork. So I ended up doing this earth from a different thing and just manipulating it and everything.
That text looks like it's their text.
Yes, so this is their logo throughout. Anytime we do summer reading program here at Grand Ledge Area District Library, I try to at least incorporate their logo for stuff, just because it further cements that theming that they're doing. But I try to use our own graphics, do my own thing, draw my own thing if I can, just to kind of give it a little bit of a unique twist. But we also have their promotional stuff here that we've purchased too, for like their little dog tags and stuff like that we put in our prize packets. So we kind of do like a healthy mix. And this year has been a little bit of a struggle, just trying to find a good connection, I guess, between like their message and just everything as a whole. We went with like community.
Sure.
So we've been really focusing on like talking with members of our community, getting community businesses to like be really all in this year. I have all these like little paper dolls that I'm gonna put up around the library that they're all holding hands. So it's kind of like a chain of paper dolls. So just things like that. And it's not like the theme was a struggle. It was just like finding decoration ideas and like, programs to do. We have a lot of like cultural events that are coming in through different countries and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be really fun.
Right on. Oh boy. Let's hear from Barbara. And
Hi.
yeah,
Barbara from the Hastings Public Library. I've been with adult programming and marketing for approximately 8 years. I still feel like it's my first year. There's so many things that you know that you're doing, and then there's all this other stuff that pops up and you go, oh my God, what am I going to do with this? I'm also having to deal with digital collections and stepping in to help with all the other things that other people don't want to deal with. Summer reading.
Barbara, we have so much in common. Describing my workday.
Yeah, you're busy creating all this marketing, and all of a sudden you have to go down and help somebody figure out why their Kindle reader can't add apps. Oops. Did not mean to get sidetracked. Summer reading, we went with Read Beyond the Beaten Path, which was iRead's last year program. And it totally fits our community. We did not have a heart for the last few programs, summer reading program ideas. So that's why we jumped on Read Beyond the Beaten Path. We're heading for camping and outdoors, and we have a whole bunch of speakers and events that all have to do with camping, outdoors, and safety and exploring.
Right on. Oh, Kayla.
Hi, my name's Kayla Bambrick. I'm at the Allegan District Library in Allegan, Michigan. I have been here since September, and I am the Adult Programming and Marketing Coordinator. We have not had a youth librarian for almost the whole time I've been here. So not only is this summer the first summer reading I've had to plan any programs for, I had to plan pretty much all of it. So luckily we have somebody starting Monday, so I kind of got to plan everything, and now I get to hand it off to them to actually implement it, which is kind of nice.
Props to you, Kayla, that you're still standing.
I'm in charge of just the adult programs. Our big one this summer that I'm really excited for, we're having a murder mystery. It's something a lot of people have asked for, but it seemed like a lot to plan. So we actually hired somebody in. So that's, a big chunk of our summer budget, but we figured it's the one big adult thing, and it's right in the middle of summer. So I'm really excited for that one, and I hope it turns out well.
Kayla, I'd love if you reported back to us after that happens on how it went and all that.
Yeah, it's really nice. They're a company up in Kentwood, I believe, and they have different packages. The one we picked, they send 3 actors. They have like some small props for audience members that participate. They give you a script if you're one of the suspects. So yeah, we're really excited. All of our staff wants to come. Everyone's like, I want to work that day, even though it's a Saturday evening, just because they want to, come and hopefully be a suspect.
Anybody else doing anything creative for teens? We're going to be trying personally the My Library Quest this year. We'll see how it goes.
We've done the My Library Quest. It's I think we had like 2 people participate in February, which wasn't ideal, but I figured I didn't put any work into it. I mean, it's pre-planned already, and all we had to do was advertise it. I put up a sign in the teen room, and we put stuff up on social media. So it's worth it for that. And you have to give away a prize, but we're doing plenty of prize giveaways anyway.
We had nobody participate. We had it up on our banner. We put it on our socials. We had 0 teens or 0.
Feel like we'll get 2. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we only had a few people participate, but I mean, for the amount of work that I think the Library of Michigan does for it, and we don't have to do any work, it's still worth it in my opinion, just because it's something we can supplementally put out.
I think it shows up to the community as another offering too, which no harm there.
Absolutely.
I was looking at the plans they have for this summer, and I kind of like the theme. It seems like they're doing some things to make it a little more user-friendly this time around. I wasn't able to go to the last Zoom that they had, but from the emails that I've gotten from them, I think they're making an effort to make it a little less confusing, which I think will be good.
They've really been listening to a lot of our feedback, and every season that they do it, they've been like doing something a little bit different. I think they're just trying to find that like sweet spot of getting everybody like mostly happy, and then they're gonna like flow from there.
But going back to Stephanie with that awesome brochure, anybody else want to share your experimentations with just the images you've been creating, whether it's for print flyers or for digital marketing, when it comes to summer reading, and how many of you are also going along with the, oh, hold on. I got you guys.
Can you hear me now? Is that good? I really thought switching to the other mic would be even better, and now it isn't. Now I'm back. I wanted to hear more about the images you're making for social media when it comes to flyers or digital marketing, and how many of you are going along with All Together Now and CSLP and all that. And if you find yourself getting a little creative in things like Canva, etc. How has that been going?
I can answer this from my,
Sure.
I usually for Facebook or any other things, I kind of just steal stuff from Google that's not, you know, under a paywall or anything. And then I usually put our logo on it. We've got various logos created by the city. We have some that are like all black, some that are black and white, some that are all white, you know, and the city kind of dictates the font that we use, and certain images have to be on certain things, but overall it's pretty they're not very strict on it. So yeah, I use a lot of Canva. And for the summer reading, we're doing All Together Now as well, and we're doing Beanstack as well, and we have to create all the badges on Beanstack, and I could not for the life of me find the badges for All Together Now, so I pretty much just had to go through and create my own. I stole some of the circular.
They exist. They were just hard to find. They were just hard to find.
I found a couple of them, but they there weren't enough. There were like maybe 6 or something like that. So I wound up going and finding their stickers that they had, and then I stole the images off their stickers and used those as badges. And it's just, yeah, I do wish that they had given us a little more graphics, because it seemed like some of them were either like long banner photos. There weren't a whole lot of like square ones that worked on like Instagram and things like that.
It was less this year, and
yeah, it's
visibly less square.
Yeah. So that was a little bit of a difficult thing, but you know, we scrounge, we manage.
Well, and I think too, Natasha, at one point we talked that the theme is all together, but the graphics, most of them were all by themselves. So
yeah,
we
totally,
felt like it didn't really go with the theme. And so we are using the theme all together now here at St. Clair Shores, but we created our own graphics for everything. And it's going to be more of a, like a camp type of feel to everything. So probably kind of goes along with like what Barbara's displaying behind her more than what you would see on their website.
I actually really like Read Beyond the Beaten Path more than All Together Now in terms of just a theme, because I feel like, I mean, All Together Now, you can kind of choose it. We're kind of using it as like a community tie-in. So I reached out to like the community and asked for like coupons and things that they could donate to summer reading to kind of help draw the community aspect in. But I do really like the camping and the outdoors and all that kind of stuff as well.
That's awesome.
I don't know if this is going to be accessible by everyone, but I'm dropping a link in the chat for the Google Drive for CLSP social media graphics, and those are squares that they have made. So if you can access them, yay, that might help a little bit too.
Plymouth is not doing the All Together Now theme this year. Our director wanted to go a different route, but just between you and me and the wall, I'm not really loving it because it doesn't have a theme. There's no tagline, there's no imagery, like literally no imagery except for the word Summer Reading 2023. She didn't want a mascot. She didn't want, so I'm not a big fan, but we'll see. We'll see how people respond to it. It's very muted colors and very lacking in any kind of imagery, and I don't feel fired up by it. So we'll see.
Definitely a muted earth tone aesthetic throughout.
Yeah, not earth tone, but just very, she, you know, desaturated is kind of her thing. So yeah, so we'll see how that goes. I think I might lobby harder next year.
I have a friend who's a professional illustrator, animator. This is tangential, but I encourage her to apply. Apparently you can apply if you know any artist friends out there to be in the mix. So if you know any artists who make really colorful stuff, I'm sorry, someone was talking.
Oh, I was just saying we at GADMIL, we're also using the summer or the all together now summer reading theme. We're interpreting it as like community partnerships and bringing in different people into the library. We're actually, our director has decided to do like a year-long highlight of different community partnerships that we have and different resources available to people in Midland. We also in January hired our first full-time graphic designer / makerspace specialist. So he runs our new makerspace and he also created all of our graphics for the summer reading program. Everything is nice and cohesive. He made badges that coordinate with colors for us. He made the banner for Beanstack. He made graphics that are going out about summer reading kickoff and summer reading events that are happening throughout the summer. It's nice to have something really cohesive.
I can agree with Madison. I'm Peter from Bloomfield Township Public Library. I am a clerk in the circulation department, so I feel I get a different experience than everyone else. I'm not directly responsible for creating any of the programming or the socials or any of that. The department's teen, youth, and adult do that part of it, but I am in a support role trying to promote the library as a whole at the circulation area. I am also responsible for Melcat, so I'm always in the mind of how we can make that more accessible to everyone and raise awareness for that. Like Madison was talking about, though, we did have someone in adult services last year take on the fact that since everyone's responsible for their own branding and marketing, she tried to unify it by having a set of branding standards designed throughout the library. So we all use the same size logo, the same color palette, yada, yada, yada. And that seems to work really well for us. One big thing that we're sort of focusing on as sort of a tangent to the marketing part of it is accessibility. In our youth department, they are champions of accessibility of all types. Right now, we're focusing on making the website more accessible, and we've only had a couple meetings about it, but there is some contention about which parts of it, of a website from a visual standpoint, need to be described to the challenged of the visually challenged people. And so we're constantly not constantly, but we're in a struggle. What makes something decorative versus a picture that needs to be described? So we haven't come to agreement on that just yet. So we're reaching out to other libraries and trying to figure out what they're doing best practice wise. We don't know if a lot of people are really doing as much of a shakedown of our website as we are, of their website as we are. So I don't think we're breaking new ground, but we are facing very early on, we're facing challenges of how you define something, what's too much information, for my opinion. I don't think you need to describe the background of a sign that says we're closed if it has a picture of a book in the background. I call that decorative. There's some debate about it. So it's a very interesting thing, but I think that there's we might need to turn to more professional help to get this straightened out, because I think we're overdoing it. And I certainly don't want to be on the side of someone who's against giving an enriched view of the website to someone. But I think that we might be leaning toward overdoing it if we're describing the backgrounds to our signs and all that. So I don't know.
Peter, do you have anybody who's vision impaired chiming in on that issue with you?
Not yet.
Anybody who's using the, descriptive text?
I am very much, I think that's where we're going to have to turn to, because we have people who are championing it who aren't, I don't know how much they've reached out yet, but they're sort of bringing it to the rest of the group. It's a committee of 8 people, and we're all to go to our separate departments and actually try to identify all the issues and bring them back to the group so we can discuss what needs changing. So I think that's our next step, and that is an excellent idea. It's just that's probably got to be our next step, where we can help, they can help us to define what's too much or what's too little, what needs to be described. So yes. That's all.
Oh man, Mary, you're bringing AI into the debate here.
Yeah,
a whole
that's
other meeting.
curious. Yeah.
I did, and I know it's kind of a hot button. But I've been looking at a lot of articles from marketing firms lately about using it to your benefit, using it to help you. And I just thought that, I worked for the Midwest Collaborative for Library Services. I've been there for about 10 months. And before that, I was in a library system. I was the marketing manager for 14 years. And I was a previous co-chair of this group for a long time. But the reason why I brought it up is I don't hate AI. And actually, as a longtime Department of One, I really think it has some advantage. Especially if you have to write a blog or a blog, or maybe you just can't think of something to write about. You can just kind of throw a couple of, write a 5-page speech on, the benefits of freedom of information, or right to read and things like that. And but it gives you talking points, and it can write a blog for you, but then you go back through and you make it your own, but you don't have to start from scratch. Sometimes I think looking at a blank page just feels overwhelming, or having too many tabs open. So yeah, I would never suggest that, like my son use it for a paper, not like that, but just, for us, I think it can be a huge benefit, and not something to, take it for what it is and harness what it can do for you. And you can get it for free. It's like having having a marketing intern, right? You come up with some ideas for me, help me out.
Put some paint on the canvas.
Yeah. Give it a starting point.
I'm
So
a little bit dismayed by what I'm not really, in tune with it, but the little bit that has come across my desk or my screen about it, I'm a little dismayed by the frequency that I see of the AI just generating completely random false information with citations that are not even true. That
right.
Those kind of occurrences that I read about make me just want to take a wide track around it, and I know that makes me a Luddite to some degree, because it's here and we might as well figure out how to harness the beast, but
right.
Oh, so I just want to go around the room one last time, because I could talk to you all day and literally want to, but I guess we should get back to work eventually. But does anyone else have any closing thoughts, or if anyone else didn't get to talk and you really wanted to, now is your time to jump in. Interrupt me at any moment. Start talking.
Can I ask
Peter.
Hi, can I ask Mary what platform she was speaking of? I didn't hear the very beginning of what she was saying.
Yeah, I've only been looking for free ones, so I just messed around with ChatGPT, but I know that Canva has, and again, I agree with you, Heather. Like, I would never ask for something that needs any kind of citation. This would be more for like feel piece, like feel pieces, more bloggy style, or to simply come up with a post, just a post. Hey, look at this, and sometimes it just gives you a different way of saying it than, so yeah, no, I mean, it's limited, and you have to be really thoughtful about how you use it. And again, I don't think it's not replacing a person's thought, but I don't have to just start from scratch. So sometimes it's just using it as like a writing prompt. Like, okay, yeah, I did ask it for help writing an RFP. I did ask it for help, like, hey, write me a marketing plan or a marketing campaign for XYZ. I wanted to see what it was going to come up with. And I actually pulled some things from it and went, oh, okay, yeah, cool.
Interesting.
I can grab that, and then just reword it and put things together, and then it's completely my own. But it does you know, you can use it for certain things without it being
Yeah,
horrible.
I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
But it was ChatGPT that I used. And again, Canva has it now. Microsoft has it, you know, Google's using it for searches and things. Everybody's going to come out with stuff. So I feel like getting in at the ground level and kind of understanding it before everybody starts using it is just my truth.
Anybody else? Mary, I'm only posting a 2001 image into the chat for humor. I am actually really intrigued. I want to, especially there's the concept of putting paint on the canvas and just getting your thoughts together based on, just from an inspiration point of view. What a brave new world.
Actually, I have something that I'd like to possibly talk about in a future discussion, roundtable, etc. So I know we brought up TikTok earlier. I believe it's the Fowlerville Library that has like a massive TikTok following, and their stuff is like really, really good. I was wondering if we could possibly try to reach out to them to see if they'd be willing to come in and do a talk about their successes with that.
Which library was that?
I think it's Fowlerville Library.
Stephanie,
Oh, yeah.
It is Fowlerville, yeah.
Okay.
they presented at MLA this year, and I guess Spring Institute in 2022.
Yeah.
And I think I might have a link to their presentation, because the like PowerPoint. I think they shared it with us, or you might be able to, if you go back into the MLA 2022 files, you might be able to find it.
Okay, I don't know if I have access to that, but I will definitely take a look.
I like the idea of inviting them. I mean, if they say no, we could fall back to what they presented before, right? But I think we're always looking for a speaker for these sessions, so that might be a nice.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll pass it on to Kelly. And I also think this AI thing could be a presentation or a discussion unto itself. I think website standards that Peter was talking about, and alternative text and all that kind of stuff, that's also a presentation on itself. So we should all look into that. Well, it's 11 o'clock, everybody. I guess I'll wrap it up there. I'll give anyone else your last chance to say anything. Other than that, I'm wishing you all a very productive and fun and rewarding summer reading, hopefully stress-free. Bye, everybody. And well, thanks again to Dan. I think that's in the recording. And I'll see you all next month. I won't be as chatty that time.
Thank you.